At the entrance to the hidden village, you'll see Darbus up ahead punching away at the remains of the rock slide. Transform back into your Hylian form and approach him to initiate this cutscene where he finishes up what he's doing. He then turns around and talks to us about this forgotten place and how it smells of evil. He'll mention that he has seen one powerful creature around who commands a bunch of weaker enemies who loot and attack people. Kind of vague, but okay. But he's actually referring to Bulblins, so he must be referring to King Bulblin. After a moment, he guesses that there are about 20 of them, which I don't see how he can figure that out, since he hasn't even seen in there yet. Maybe his sense of smell is better than we know. He explains that they're probably just a leaderless, remains of what's left, and that you should be more than enough to handle them. He also says that if you have to kill all of them in order for this to work, so if you leave, then come back, and all 20 will return in case you haven't defeated them all yet. He gives you one last tip for you to kill them before they have a chance to see you. With that, Darbus will then roll back to Kakariko, leaving us with the dirty work. You want to set the hero's bow to an item button, and then if you have the Hawkeye, you may want to use that as well. Combining both the Hawkeye with the bow will work much like a sniper rifle, so it'll make this a lot easier. For the sake of those who don't have it, though, I will not be using that. I will be using the Hawkeye a little bit, but I will not be using it in combination with the bow, just to show how to do it the hard way in case, because I assume a lot of you guys don't actually have the Hawkeye is what I'm getting at. Now the village is filled with 20 Club Bulblin and Bulblin archers, which will call the alarm if they see you, so they're kind of scattered throughout the village and such, so we'll have to hunt them down and kill them as discreetly as possible. As we begin, you want to shoot the big barrels which have like X's on them, and these are explosives. So now why there would be explosive crates and barrels in the middle of this abandoned village, I don't know. Hopefully the explosions will kill several Bulblins at once, so if you ever see any, then shoot them to make them blow up. Off on the bottom right, you can see the number of Bulblins that we have left to defeat. So this actually makes it really nice to kind of figure out, where we are in our progress throughout this area. And for the most part, most of the Bulblins actually guard, or they look towards the center here. So you can actually just like walk through this central path, and any Bulblins that you have, that are guarding the center, they will start shooting at you. So that kind of makes them stand out like crazy. So it's not too hard to, it's really hard to miss them that way. Anyways, here you'll see I'm using the Hawkeye to look at these really far off ones, and I'm going to shoot them with the bow without using the Hawkeye, but I just wanted to zoom in just so you can see what I'm shooting at. And if you have a hard time seeing that, you can also just see that the number at the bottom right corner is actually changing. So I am indeed killing them. There's actually one that's up on top of this tower off on the far side, but I can't really get a good shot from here, so I'm just going to do that a little bit. Now in this house, there's actually one that is up on top of these stairs, and I used the Hylian shield, just simply held in Z, walked towards him, so that steadily, I was defending the entire way, so that way his arrows got deflected off my shield. That's a good little trick for you. Now I've already killed all of the Bulblins that are on these upper levels on this side, so I'm going to continue heading on forward. This thing's a little bit awkward, you just want to simply keep holding forward in order to get across here. There's actually some Bulblins down on the other side of that building across the way, but I will get to that here in just a moment. There are 3 Bulblins in here, I believe, maybe 4. And so there's one that's up on the upper ledge, there's one that's down below, and there's also one that's actually on the roof, but you can't see it from here. Anyway, I ended up deciding to just go in there from underneath. Now, for anybody who had purchased a Wii Zapper, that Wii attachment actually came with a game called Link's Crossbow Training, in which you were running around with a crossbow, and you held it very similar to holding the Wii Zapper, and so it looked very similar. And it was to show off how the Wii Zapper worked in gameplay, and so it used Twilight Princess graphics and all the Twilight Princess levels, for the most part, several of them, and had different scenes. And so one of the scenes was actually here in the hidden village, killing Bulblins, so it was very similar to this, actually. So as you can see in this building here, I just killed, 3 Bulblins. There was one on the floor, one up on the mid-level, which you can climb up there as well to get to that one. And the third one is up on top of the roof, actually. There's a little hole in the roof, and he's standing up there, and he'll shoot at you. You have to be just in the right position. So that's one of the tricky ones that's kind of hard to find. There's one that's in this little alley, and it's kind of a pain to get to. Here you'll see I Z-targeted it there at the last moment so that it deflected its attack instead. And you can also shoot the Bulblins through the window, so that's kind of cool. So you actually can't do anything about that, really. Then you'll see that there's also one on top of this tower, and you can either shoot it directly, or you can shoot the explosive barrel that is right next to it as well. There's also a Bulblin that's through this window right here. For some reason, this one didn't kill him. Like, the other one went straight through the glass and killed him too. I don't know, maybe we were both shooting at the same time or something. Anyways, the final one is down here on the floor, and that is all 20. So if you've been following my directions, you should have killed all of them. So basically, the funky ones are just in that back alley and in that little building off there to the side, and then the one on the roof inside that one building off to the side as well. Those are the 2 funky areas. Once you've killed all 20, you'll hear the Zelda chime, just like when you've completed a puzzle, and the door to the little shack at the end will open and a small old woman will emerge. After glancing around, she'll mention that all the Bulblins are quiet. In other words, you slaughtered them. Link will then walk up to the woman who will call you the Savior, and she will explain that her name is Impaz, and that she is the last resident of the Hidden Village. She explains that her name comes from the Great One who founded this village, and a very obvious reference to Impa from previous Zelda titles, and who founded Kakariko Village in Ocarina of Time. Out front of the village there's actually a large sign that says Old Kakariko in Hylian text, which is actually English that has different letters for it, so you can actually figure out all the Hylian text that's within this game. She explains that the village once held the tribe who served the royal family, but over the years it slowly dwindled away and the monsters invaded. She knows your name, so obviously Illia spoke of you, meaning that Illia had her memories sometime between leaving the Hidden Village and arriving at Castletown. Impaz says that Illia was worried after her, and even though she was helping her to escape. She can't leave because she is waiting for a certain someone, and she's a little mysterious about it. She changes subjects rather abruptly, asking you to return something to Illia. She then gives you Illia's charm, which looks a lot like a whistle horseshoe on a necklace and has a very Ordonian look to it. Impaz says that she believes that it has kept her safe all this time, since Illia left, I presume. That's such crap. I mean, she's been here alone for who knows how many years, and it kept you safe for a full week or something? Whoop-de-doo. Anyway, she encourages us to take it back to Illia, and the screen then pans out. Once you regain control, you want to run off and do just that. Unfortunately, we will not be able to transform within the Hidden Village, so we'll have to leave before we're able to even warp back over to Kakariko Village. Once you get there, you want to go ahead and enter the sanctuary and give Illia's charm back to her, which will initiate a rather touching cutscene. With the movie over, Illia will then tell us that the charm was actually a gift that she made for us originally when we were leaving for Hyrule Castle with the Ordon Sword and Ordon Shield. Now that she finally has her memory back, she no longer needs it, and this gift has now found its rightful owner. The Horse Call will allow you to call Epona from anywhere, and works just like the Horse Grass. It's a nice little addition, and it was really needed, but it's kind of frustrating that we only get it near the very end of the game. With some last words of encouragement, Illia will tell you to continue on with your quest and not worry about her. Well, that's nice that everything worked out in the end, Once that's done, the scene will then switch back to normal, and Illia tells you one last bit of advice. Now that she has her memories back, she remembers the full extent of what she was saying earlier about the Rod of the Heavens. Apparently, the real meaning was that someone known as the Heavenly Messenger would come with the Rod of the Heavens, and that the tribe within the Hidden Village have been ordered to wait for this messenger to arrive. They've been watching over a mysterious item that needs to be given to him. At the end, Illia idly wonders who the messenger might be, as well as what the Rod of the Heavens even is. I think we now know the answer. So now, once we're done speaking with her, you want to go ahead and leave the sanctuary and travel back to the Hidden Village, which I will do in the next video.